The more I learn about narcissistic people, like the more I study them closely through my own relationships, connections with them. I've been surrounded by narcissists my entire life. I think it's just the path of an INFJ. Maybe being surrounded by narcissists makes people an INFJ. I like personality type. Um, or because we go through similar things. I think that we just experience similar traumas and experiences, and they don't have the capacity to process them properly, whether that's societal, um, DNA, or generational trauma like epigenetics and all that other stuff, or if they just don't want to. I don't know. But the thing where we differ, because sometimes I would think that me and these people are alike, that me and these people are, so similar, until the script keeps flipping. They keep going more and more to hell. Like, they keep doing more devilish stuff, or they will poke holes in my high energy to try to lower me and then like leave me for dead. Like when they think that they really did a big one, then it's just like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna ignore you forever. And it's just like, motherfucker, I empathized with you. I know what you're going through. I know you are the victim several times, but you don't have to remain the victim. And because I'm telling you that pisses you off. It pisses you off because you want to say tied to your victim identity. Like, because I understand what you went through, you're mad. Ain't that what you wanted? Ain't people come, they want to be so heard. Oh, I want to be heard. Nobody listens to me. Then when you listen, they're like, yeah, I finally found somebody who dumb enough to listen to me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I just think, what was that y'all even eating? I don't even want to look because it looks disgusting. My dogs. But it's just, it's a tough pill to swallow because I have been through a lot of trauma. I have experienced a lot. And so I know what the wounds feel like. And so you think like, oh, dang, I got somebody who understands me, at least me thinking that, like, dang, I have somebody who's been through what I went through, and it made them confident, it made them just all the false stuff that they put out there. It made them, it gave them strength, and they are go-getters, and just all this false confidence that's out there until you really start getting to know them and you let your guards down and you see like, oh, that's not confidence, that's insecurity. Like, that's not ego, that's a wounded heart. Like, you're scared. That's fear. And so it's just like, you don't have to be that way. You don't gotta be that way. Especially because I've been taking it personal. Like, why is this energy coming out, around me? But it's because they start to see like, oh, dang, she's not like me. Like, we've been through similar stuff, but her stuff has made her, better. Her stuff, she can talk about her stuff and don't feel no way about it. But when she talk about her stuff, it reminds me of my stuff, and now I'm pissed. Now I'm angry. And it's just like, and the whole time, I feel like that the part that keeps me, what's the word? Trying to figure out the best way to put it. I try to not play nice, but I'm very subtle about it, because I know that my ability to see them is through intuition, and so I try to maintain a high level of spiritual integrity. I really believe that's a thing, and a lot of people lack it. That's why people don't be wanting to deal with spiritualists or people who they just things that they don't understand because they've most likely been, taken advantage of in the past, or where they've been to people where they've paid for service, or people think like, oh, well, people usually charge this, and that for that. Like, why are you trying to do this for free? Like, you must be trying to get over on me or do something. Like, people would normally charge me whatever. And it's like, no, like, I see something that needs to be addressed in this lifetime, And so, but in that though, I like for people to open up and for them to discuss their wounds. I don't want to be the one to say like, oh, well, da 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 da, blah blah blah. Because when I was unhealed, like as soon as things flip and you get on that with me and you show me your demon side, I'm on that with you. Like, I'm on it. I'm finna read you down. But when I'm like getting to know people and I'm opening up and I'm waiting, hoping that they open up too, and it's just like I sense the wound, and now you're just lying, and the more you lie, the more insecure it makes you, and the more demonic you're becoming. And so it all just happens just so subtly though. And so if you're not in tune, if you're not intuitive, if you're not tapped in, if you haven't let your empathy become your power versus your ruler, it can make that a very something very hard to point out, because you'll think it's you. You'll start to blame yourself. You won't notice their emotions from your own, and you will think like, dang, am I insecure? You know, am I like, they was just really sweet to me last week, and then this week they calling me out my name and saying, you know, I'm this and I'm that. Like, did I really piss them off? And am I really that sensitive to where I can, like, you start to feel like a vulnerable child again? If the narcissism started in your childhood, like if the people you were around, like if you experienced narcissistic people in your childhood, or that's where your trauma wounds were, you start to feel it all over again. And so people will like, they'll go out their way to try to traumatize you, to try to make you like them, to try to make you, to be like, oh nah, like she just like me, like she really not different, so they feel better about themselves. And it's just like, that's a very low place to be. That's a very low, like when people are, there's two people in jail and one person about to get released. You know, one person been positive the whole time and they finally getting out. They've been praying like, oh God, like shorten my days, you know, and like let me take some time off my sentence, you know, and they finally getting out. And then the person who was fake supporting them the whole time, like, oh yeah, we've been through the same thing, but then they ain't get that same outcome. So then they want to start stuff with the person or get them in trouble, or, you know, even go as far as taking their life, you know, so they can avoid them moving forward. Like if people will really go that deep, they would really let their wounds turn them into the worst person in the world. And I hate that. Like it really breaks my heart. Because it's just like, folks, you could have been out. You could have been free. You could have been free. You could have been free, and you chose to hold me back versus seeking your own freedom. Like, and that shit sucks. It sucks. But me being the hopeless romantic that I am, and when I say romantic, I mean just an open heart person. That doesn't mean that it's in regards to male and female relationship, just the hopeless romantic, just in general, of having a little hope for all things good. I feel like people, I don't know, that there are still people out there who do want to get over their trauma, who do want to heal, who do want to become better versions of themselves and live a healthier life. You know, I try not to, despite all of my experiences, I still try to look at each experience with fresh eyes. It's like, you know, I don't want to, because if I don't, then it's just like, you don't know if you're projecting or not. Like if you look at it, if you try to read people right off, like, oh yeah, I sense that, this and that. And sometimes you have to, but then you still have to give people a chance to kind of, you know, be themselves. Because maybe it's not always a moment of where you let people get that close to you. You know, sometimes, that's one thing I can say, is that I don't always let people get really close to me. But when I do, it's usually narcissist, because they play it so well. And then by the time the wounds start to show, I care enough to be like, dang, you know, that was once me. You know, I once felt like that. So it's just like, let me help you not feel like that. But then they don't want to. They rather make me feel like that again than for them to not feel like that. So at some point you just gotta, I don't know, accept it while still keeping your heart open. Because the minute you close your heart and start thinking that everybody is like that, you'll continue to have experience like that, to the point where you don't know if you're actually hurting people and making them like that, because you're projecting outward. You're projecting this fear. You're projecting these insecurities. And it would really turn you into just an unhealthy person. You know, a narcissist. They'll turn you into a narcissist. Like, narcissists create other narcissists, because they do just so many deeply harmful things. To the point where you lose your identity and you take on theirs, because that's who you feel like you need to be to defend yourself. And yeah, I hope we all can learn to live a soft life. That doesn't require us to be on guard against people that we love and care about, or in making new connections, just period. But yeah, have a good day, y'all.